Thank you for watching this Last Mile Profits video.
If you want to hear who can say egregious better and learn something interesting about what's happening with lockers in some places on the border with Scotland, take a look at the latest Last Mile Profits video.
Last Mile Profits is brought to you by Parcel Pending by Quadient.
Gary, we're coming back to NIMBY today.
I introduced this phrase to you and you can't give it up, can you? It's
I
sort
just love it. And there's another one, but I don't know if I can pronounce it properly. Egregious.
Yeah, this is a Liz Truss word. It's very difficult to squeeze into everyday conversation, but it is a nice word if you can do it.
Well, no, I had to get it in because it sounds so good. So for those of you who are not in the know, we want to talk about lockers. There's a particular one. I think our editor maybe will put it somewhere below or in the picture that you can take a look at. It's apparently on the border with Scotland, I think on the Scottish side. Is that right, Gary?
Yeah, it's called the Scottish borders. So the southern bit of Scotland that can't quite raise the game enough to be England is called the Scottish borders.
Our editor's going to love you for that. He will love you. For those of you who don't know, our editor is Scottish. So, Gary, you are in trouble. It's all right to upset me, but you don't upset the editor.
He's voiceless and faceless. What can I do?
But okay. So you've got this egregious looking locker on the borders. Did I say that right?
In a village in the Scottish borders.
Okay. And apparently there's a big debate. And what's cool about the debate, because we've actually talked about people not liking lockers and saying they're ugly and you know, they cause issues. But we're beginning to get people that actually say, hold on, this is pretty cool. We quite like it. It's less ugly than what was there before. I'd encourage the viewers to have a look at maybe we'll have a picture before and after, and you can make a comment. But the sort of comments that we're getting is actually sometimes it's not that much less attractive. In this particular photo, I think you had an old traditional post box and a locker, and some people say the locker looks better than the post box, maybe an acquired taste. But the other thing, Gary, we're hearing from shopkeepers is not only do they not mind the locker, but it actually genuinely brings business back to the high street. Have you got a view?
Yeah, definitely. I think again, there are two sides to this. Some places a parcel locker is completely inappropriate. You know, not everywhere is the Cotswolds, not everywhere is the centre of London, and not everywhere is historically relevant. So having a parcel locker in a location shouldn't be seen as too detrimental. But some places definitely do need to be protected. So I kind of see it, but not protected just for the sake of protection where it's worthwhile. I'm not the arbiter of good taste or bad taste, but I genuinely believe that. But I actually commented on this the other day about the number of abandoned shops that there are on the high street. I think it was in response to something you posted, actually, that why not make that shop available at peppercorn rent, 0 rates, and put everybody's lockers all inside it to make it safe and dry and convenient, because some of these shops just aren't getting any traffic at all. So that's kind of one element to it. But the other element is there needs to be a little bit of live and let live. You know, this is a convenience. It is driving footfall. Genuinely believe that I know a lot of independent stores and post offices in the UK, for example, are definitely crying out because they've seen the positive effect having a locker adjacent to their store has, and they want that halo effect for their own store.
Well, actually, I just, believe it or not, 2 days ago did a Lockerland tour. Lockerland, for those of you who are not initiated, is Poland, because there's so many lockers everywhere. And Gary, you will not believe it. One of the things I showed my dear friend who came over, whose name I cannot share because it's not yet official that he's doing what he's going to be doing. That was very enigmatic, wasn't it? But anyway, it's exactly as you said, Gary. There was an old store, maybe not so old, but empty store, and it was just full of lockers. The only comment I'll make is, from my perspective, if I was a courier, I'd probably prefer to have the machine outside so I can park in front of it and just take the parcels in and out. But in this particular case, there wasn't anywhere else. So this happened to be an impost store. I think they had about 1,000 cells in one store. So, you know, I think, Gary, you're absolutely right. I think it's happening. It's going to be happening.
I saw a similar thing in Helsinki, and that's what I said on the comment. You know, it was a shop in a shopping mall in the basement level, not prime real estate where you could have a designer outlet or whatever, but you know, and it was done by Finnish Post. It was completely full of lockers, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lockers, all together with some benches for packaging and so on. And it made something that maybe otherwise would have just been boarded up or with a hoarding over the front or whatever else. So there has to be, these are coming. They fulfill a function. They have a purpose. And I think there needs to be a bit of cooperation, collaboration to find the best possible locations for them that cause the minimum disruption.
I think that as with everything, you're right. It's all about a compromise, finding the right way forward, and of course, not putting something that is hideous in a very sensitive, culturally sensitive place. But there is something else that I looked at when I did the Localand tour, and you can also make a locker look a bit more attractive. So I have to call out Allegro there, where it's the same machine as pretty much everyone else's, but they really use nice colors. They put on a little bit of artificial wood, put some plants around it, and
Yeah.
sometimes have a little bench next to it. So, I think a lot can be done. My friend Kastytis from Lithuanian Post will probably be happy to hear when I say that, they're also doing great stuff because they have local artists who have pictures that are relevant or paintings relevant to the local community. So something that might be considered an eyesore actually is considered, oh, wow, this is really nice. So, it'd be great maybe to hear everyone's thoughts. Are we being unreasonably tolerant, or actually is it the way to go?
There's one thing we should mention, Marek. If you remember in a previous video, I'm sure if our learned viewers remember it, but there we showed a picture of a house in France that had a parcel locker
I remember.
in the back garden, and I might have alluded to the fact that it was the most attractive thing in the picture was in fact a parcel locker, to the detriment of my French colleagues at the time. Apparently the locker's been removed, so there's been enough of a backlash that they've actually uprooted it. And there was a similar one in the UK. There was a picture went around I think everybody has seen it. So whether Gregor puts it up on the screen or not, I don't know. But where somebody has actually cut their back garden fence back and put a large impost locker right in their back garden.
Gary, I heard that you got people, and I know someone who's quite careful with the pennies, Gary, that might actually put a locker to save them putting a fence in their backyard.
So I genuinely, from that comment, I can't tell whether it's you, me, or our Scottish producer you're calling Ty, because it could literally be any of the three of us.
All right, the audience can decide who is tight here. Gary, as usual, great talking. Looking forward to lots of comments from the audience. And I haven't said this for a while, but please, if you like the material, please click like and subscribe. It helps us keep producing these videos for you.
Gary, I was looking at the subscriptions and realized that a huge number of our audience actually don't subscribe to watch our videos.
Really? That's outrageous. It's a bit like watching the BBC without your TV license. How can we keep it free if people aren't subscribing and letting us know they want more of this content? It's ridiculous.
And on top of that, if they're not subscribed, they don't get information about the latest hot episode where you can make one of your witty jokes and we can talk about something that is really important for our industry.
If I knew that a single act like that would make sure I got maximum time taking the mickey out of you, I'd be hitting subscribe in a heartbeat.
Well, look, so here we have it. Please, everyone, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your opportunity. Click right now. The button should be there, or maybe there. Do it now and have it done.